That's a big one.
Yeah, make sure you're on the mic, JD.
I'm ro-
There you
am
go.
I rocking it?
You're
Am I
rocking it now.
All right, there we go.
I've never seen JD this sleepy before ever. Usually you're just like on the go. You're a ball of fire. You're rocking the roofs are hot. The tire is always today. What's wrong with you, JD?
Man,
Come on, man.
I'm telling you,
Bring the A game.
I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but man, I'm getting out of it though.
You're
Watch
getting
out.
out of it.
Yeah,
All right.
you're gonna
Take
see
one
it.
of your little caffeine strips and put on your little pickleball outfit. Let's go, man.
Let's do it. That's what I'm saying.
I've been looking forward to this all week. I've never met our special guest today, Mr. Martin Lopez of Omni Pool Builders and Design. He's on the phone right now. Martin, you there?
Guapo, ¿dónde está?
Where is Martin?
He called in too early and then he got
called in
off.
too early. He left the show.
Oh my gosh. Here,
Well, you brought in Martin for today, JD. So let's give a little background while we're waiting for him.
all right, so Martin, man, he is hilarious.
There he is.
Oh, is there? Are you there, Guapo?
Oh, I'm here. It helps if I unmute my phone.
Oh, so you're one of those guys talking into the phone when nobody's listening.
It's one of the
I am.
beauties.
Comes with age.
One of the beauties of like live radio, the authenticity, right? The
There
authenticity.
you go.
Martin, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so the show's premise, if JD, I'm sure kind of filled you in on this, is to share amongst local small business owners, entrepreneurs, aspiring marketing professionals, some of our stories, some of our backgrounds, and you've been present here in the Tucson community for a long time. And, again, I'm very just honored that you're a part of the show today. Martin, would you mind giving us a little bit of your backstory and how you started Omni?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm originally from El Paso, Texas, and
El Paso.
my dad was an my dad was an Army officer,
Oh,
so that's
cool.
how we ended up there. And he retired there, and I grew up there.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his good friends, who was my godfather, went into the pool industry after he retired. So I started dabbling in it back when I was a kid. I mean, he'd have me go clean pools, driving a truck, and I wasn't old enough to even have a license. And that's kind of how I got my
Paso.
start doing
Yeah.
that. And then I moved off to college in San Antonio, moved back to El Paso, and he said, I could really use your help in the service department. So I cleaned pools, and I started doing repairs, and then I ventured off and did my own thing. And I said, if I'm going to do something in this industry, I want to move to. Originally, I moved to Phoenix because at the time that was the hub of the pool industry in the United States.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to, not only do I want to make some money, I really want to learn this craft, because I realized at that point this was going to be my career.
Mm-hmm.
This was going to be what I do. I'd seen what my godfather had done with it. He had done very well. And I said, if he can do it in El Paso, I know I can go to Phoenix and make something happen.
Mm-hmm.
So moved to Phoenix, worked for various companies, the big companies, Shasta, California Pools.
Oh, cool.
Really learned how to build pools there. And in 2007, when the market started going down, I was running a company. I was the head of construction. We had 38 employees. We did 380 pools. And in 2005, 2006, we dropped to 200. In 2007, we're down to 45.
Oof.
And the market was tanking, and I had a baby on the way, and I took a 2-year contract with Pacific Pools down here. I knew the owner, who passed away a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I knew him through the industry, and he said, Martin, come to Tucson, help me. I'm struggling a little bit in Tucson. I could really use your help. And I moved down here, and I vowed 2 years and 1 day I'm moving back to Phoenix. Well, that was 16 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when he closed up shop, I was freelancing because I'd been an old heater repair tech. And one thing, there's a million guys who clean swimming pools, but there's not very many of them that'll touch a heater and do repairs. So I advertised, hey, I'll fix your heaters, but I also was doing some freelance work. And I met Michael Baker, who's one of my business partners. At the time, he had just started his service company. He had worked for a few people, and he met and he said, hey, I got some repairs that I need help with. And I said, sure. And he goes, do you mind if I watch what you do? I said, no, I don't mind. So we started, I started doing some repairs and some heater work for him. And we were on a job site, and there was a homeowner, and she said, "Boy, thanks for doing this, for fixing my pump and filter." She says, "Boy, I'd really like to. I'm tired of the way this tile looks, and I'm tired of this interior. Do you know anybody that can do it?" And I said, "Yeah, we can." And Michael Baker looked at me and goes, "What do you mean we can?" I go, "Yeah, I was the head of construction for a company here. I know the guys. They're not doing anything. The market was down. They were just sitting at home waiting to do something." So we did our first remodel under that, and then we started rolling that way, and we realized, hey, this might be a good fit. So we started Omni Pools in the down market in 2012.
Wow.
I'm the license holder. I'm the one, the qualifying party for the Register of Contractors, and that's how we started. And we started building pools and doing remodels, and that's how we started the business. And what really made us take off was we brought in his brother, Aaron Baker, who is entirely way too smart to be in the pool industry. But he's this computer genius guru, and we brought him in, and he started helping us with the marketing, and he knew all the angles and all the ins and outs and how to get on Google and make things happen and how to be number one in searches and everything. And that's how we really started taking off.
Right on.
Yeah.
And that's how every year we've grown a little bit every year. We've more employees, a little more market share, and Tucson's been very, very good to Omni.
Right on.
For sure.
Yeah. One thing you kind of brought this up, Martin. I wanted to commend you. My background's in digital marketing. Your presence online is just superb, man. I don't know. You mentioned who's handling that for you, whoever it is. I mean, they've taken them out to dinner tonight, and just, I mean, your website's phenomenal. It's great on mobile. All the call to actions, your Google presence, it's solid.
Wow.
It's highly commendable, Martin. That's one of the things that I'm not surprised you brought that up before I did. So.
Well, we were at the forefront. We were fortunate, like on Facebook, when they were really starting to take off with businesses. I don't know where we're at now, but at one point we were number 3 in the United States on Facebook as far as content and views. And then with Instagram, we've taken off, and we actually have somebody now. We used to do that in-house. Now we hired, her name's Jade, and she's an Omni subcontractor. She works for us. She also works for my wife's company, the Gym of Tucson, and she does all our marketing now as far as our online presence on Instagram, on Facebook. And she's really good at it.
Phenomenal. Yeah, phenomenal. It's, again, that's kind of my forte right there. And I just wanted to give you just kudos to Jade. You said her name is Jade?
Yes.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. No, I appreciate that. Thank you. It's funny because there's times when we're building a pool and people, they'll ask, "Hey, am I going to be on Instagram or Facebook?"
Cool.
And we're like, "Do you not want to be?" And they're like, no, I want to be. I mean, they get excited about being on it.
Oh,
we
that's
did have
funny.
That's awesome.
We had one client who said, "Please don't put me on there." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Because my relatives in New York are going to see my pools being built, and they're never going to leave there.
They're going to be
They'll come
flying
here and
out
they'll stay here. They'll stay here all winter." Yeah.
Yeah, Martin, we're about 2 minutes out from break, just to give you kind of heads up on that. So, JD, did you have any a question?
No, man, it's great to hear Martin's story. I've heard it once, twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times.
3 times a lady.
Yeah.
You're gonna bust out some Commodores on us.
No, but it's just so funny to talk and play pickleball with Martin, because he always brings up being in the construction business.
Yeah.
It's and Hispanic. It's just great to have that correlation.
After this first break, guys, I want to talk to the 2 of you about your obsession with pickleball. I really do, because that's all you talk about, JD. And Martin, he's brought this up, when he told me you're going to come on. I guess you love pickleball as well, right?
Well, it's funny. The reason why I'm not in the studio is because I'm
I do
in a little bit. I got to leave, and I'm playing in a tournament this afternoon at Udall.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. We're about a minute.
And by the way, I was really hoping JD doesn't bring this up, but he does. Let's just get it out of the way. Yes, he has a higher duper than
just waiting for
higher rating. We already know this. Let's just get it out out of the way.
We got it out of the way.
That's the pickleball rating. Fine. Okay.
That's funny. That's funny. We're about half a minute away from break, Martin. So if you could hold on, right now we're going to get into break. JD, thanks from Rooster Hots here, and our special guest today is Martin Lopez of Omni Pool Builders and Design. We'll be back in a few minutes. So we're back with the Marketing Corner. I'm your host, Sean Campbell. Co-host today, JD Delgado, or Rooster Hot. I always say it that way. Is that
Rooster
okay?
Hot.
Rooster Hot.
Smoking hot.
And special guest Martin Lopez from Omni Pool Builders and Design. Let's get right into the obsession with pickleball, you guys. What is the obsession?
All right. Hey, Martin, I was telling him about what you do when you go into a room, you scan the room, and you look around and you say, I'm the one with the highest duper in here. And then I'll walk in and you say, get out of here, because I'm not the one with the highest duper anymore. But tell him about that, about how you do that and what you do.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. In fact, last night my wife and I were at dinner for Valentine's. I look around and I go, I think I got the highest duper. And then I see one of the guys from there, I'm like, dang it, so much for that. Yeah, it's just a dumb thing we do.
But
Yeah.
a duper score is essentially your rating, kind of like your handicap in golf. Is that right?
It's more just, yeah, it's honestly, I think it's flawed. Of course, once mine goes up, then I'll say that it's
Right.
accurate. But for now, it's absolutely flawed. It's wrong. Yeah, I don't know.
So what the duper is, there's a couple different ratings. It's kind of like tennis. You know, you got your 3.0, 3.5, 4.0, 4.5, 5.0, and up.
Right.
And usually over 5.0. Once you go over 5.0, you start going pro. And what they do is they compile all the tournaments that you're in, and they put it in the system. They have algorithms, and they determine your rating upon that. But it's been about 2 years now since they came out with it. It was like 3 years ago when they came out with a duper.
Yeah.
And the other cool thing about it is you can actually challenge other people that have duper scores and do your own tournaments and your own competition in order to get a higher rating.
Yeah. And full disclosure, JD, you've asked me to go out play it a number of times, right? I love sports and everything, but I know the last time I was out in any kind of competitive situation, I literally flipped my ankle all the way around.
Yeah.
That's a whole other story, right?
That's not good.
I'm too competitive. I'm too much, you know what I mean? I'm not fun to be around in a competitive situation.
And it's funny because I hear that from a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're like, no, I can't play. Like my other buddy,
Yeah.
Ryan, he says he won't play because he's just
Right.
way too
Right.
competitive.
Yeah. But Martine and for you, JD, I mean, being business owners and the stress you're under, the responsibility that you have, in all seriousness, how much does pickleball actually kind of help you out?
You want to go, Martine?
Well,
Go for it.
yeah, for me, it's a stress. I never look at it as a stress out because I'm fortunate. I mean, where I'm at with my business now is different than I was like maybe 6-7 years ago. I'm fortunate. I have some really great employees who have taken the reins with a lot of things that I do, or used to do rather. So they've taken a lot of that away from me. But pickleball is a great outlet. I also like to go lift weights and work out. That's another one. But it's not only is it's great exercise, but it's also very social. I've happened to meet some really great people. If I met JD, let's do that. I mean, JD's been playing so long. He played when the ball was still square. So I've been playing almost 2 years, but I've met a lot of great people, not only who have become friends of mine, but also clients. I mean, we have 6 pools we're building and remodeling currently who I met all through pickleball.
There you go.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. If anybody has any questions while we're during this discussion for JD or Martine, the number here is 520-790-2040. That's 520-790-2040. So.
That's right. I also said we'd give away some free stuff for anybody that calls in. So
you did.
Free stuff, man. You call in, you get some free stuff.
Free merch.
Oh, hey. We'll figure it out. We got merch. We got all kinds of things,
free
right?
roof?
For like your house, for your doghouse.
He's got a lot of T-shirts.
He's got
a lot of T-shirts.
Yeah, I do got a lot of T-shirts.
From your experience, Martine, someone getting into, the type of industry you're in, maybe not necessarily, pool building and design, but, what's, a hungry 25, 30-year-old, 35-year-old who's out there thinking about starting her or his business. What's some of the best advice that you can give to somebody in that position?
There's a few that I live by. One, your word is everything. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Follow through.
Yeah.
Call people back when you say you're going to call people back. Show up on time. Show up early. That means it's one of the biggest things I ask people and I wish sometimes there was a better answer, but the overall number one answer when I ask them, hey, why did you go with Omni Pools? You're the ones who called me back.
Yeah.
You actually showed
Yeah.
up when you said you were going to. Follow through. Your
Yeah.
word is everything.
Yeah.
a
And,
good
by no means am I perfect, but I'm sorry, but here in Tucson, as a group, as small business owners, we're bad as a group. We're bad at not following up, not giving that call back, not doing, the advice Martine just gave right now may sound simple, but here you stand out head and shoulders.
Yes,
And
you
this,
do.
I'm sorry, but in this market, that's the way it is,
You do?
We had I'll never forget this. This is 10 years ago. We had an appointment with the lady, and it was at 10 a.m. And my partner and I show up because at the first couple of years, we went on everything. Every sales call we went together. And we show up, and it's 10 o'clock, and we're actually there at 9:40, and we're ring the doorbell, no answer. Okay, give it a couple minutes, maybe let's see. 5 minutes go by, 10 minutes. I ring the doorbell again, no response. So I call her, and she answers, and I said, hey, this is Martine Lopez from Omni Pools. We're here to meet with you. And she goes, oh, well, I'm on my way home. And I go, well, we had an appointment at 10 o'clock. And she goes, nobody in Tucson shows up on time. I'll be there in about half an hour. And I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Martine, with you being an Army brat, how much did that help? Because one of the things I always, I'm an Air Force brat, so, I mean, did that help you and kind of mold you into some of the skills you have today?
100%.
Yeah.
My dad had you show up, if you show up 15 minutes before, you're on time. If you show up at the exact time, you're late. That's one. The follow through, big deal. Big deal. That's another one too. No, that was definitely ingrained in me at an early age, and absolutely did help me.
Yeah. Did you move around a lot too, or just primarily in Texas?
Well, my sisters did. When I was born, my dad was on the end of his career. He served one more tour in Vietnam, came back and retired. So I just grew up with the military background, but I didn't get to live that military life of constantly moving.
Yeah, and that's one of the huge advantages I think I have, because I've constantly moved every 2 to 4 years, and everybody around me was moving every summer. There was like a new batch of kids at all the schools that I ever went to. So for me, I'm very comfortable being around people I don't know. That's just the way I was raised, And then to Martine's, reiterating what he said, if you weren't 10 to 15 minutes early, you're not on time. And my dad was, I praise him, I appreciate it, but he was strict about that. There was no playing around.
Yeah. That look, I still, my dad passed away 15 years, and I still hear his voice, and that look, I still remember it well.
Oh yeah, he's on my shoulder. My dad passed away 12 years ago, and I every time I do, I'm kind of like out of the lane a little bit. I just feel a little tap on my shoulder. Nope, get back in the lane.
That's great.
Oh yeah,
that's good to hear.
Yeah. So with who you say you're playing in Udall today?
We are today. I'm playing with my normal mixed doubles partner. She's injured, so I'm playing with somebody else, and we're gonna give it a go this afternoon.
Are you playing with Triberg also this weekend or no?
That's tomorrow. The men's doubles, correct?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who are you playing with? Who are you playing with today?
Weekend in a row. It's tournament season, and
It is tournament season.
it's that time of year.
Yeah.
And it is funny because a lot of times, at least today, we're playing with against some different people. Because like last weekend, we played everybody that we play against at Ace Pickleball. It's like we could just have our own tournament, but we just moved locations.
The funny thing about it is, at the tournament, when people show up, they play different.
Really?
Oh heck yeah, they play different. Like we did the seniors tournament, and we ended up taking silver. But that last game, man, we didn't show up at all. And the people who took bronze, they usually beat the people who the team that won gold.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they were actually a higher team. They were 4.5, and they went down to play 4.0.
Wow.
And they were actually the third place.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's interesting how it works out, though.
Yeah. Martine, we got about 2 minutes till break. After we come in from this break, and I kind of want to tee it up right now, you've praised a lot of your current employees and the people you've you work with today. It sounds like you're very much like a servant leader. Have you ever been told that?
I've been told a few different things, but yes.
Yeah. So after we have to get a break, and I want during the break you can think about this, but it sounds like you're big. You've been praising your partner. You brought up Jade. You're phenomenal. Marketing, your social media person. You praise your employees for taking the stress off of your plate. After the break, which is about a minute and a half right now. Let's get into your culture of Omni. What you've done, and maybe some of the things that you've done, in a positive, light, and
Sure.
maybe some of the things that, you wish you could have a redo. Because last week, I don't know if you caught this last week, JD, but last week we had a guy in here, and the culture in his, in his organization, he really, endorses everybody to go back to college while they're with him. And he doesn't care what you study. It could be within the industry or something else. And, and so, and it sounds like, in this first half of the conversation, Martine, that I could tell you're kind of big into, supporting, your employees and, and their families. So
He supports the community a lot.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of
Yeah.
sponsorship and charity events,
Yeah.
and he helps out a lot of the pickleball groups. So
yeah.
he's done a lot.
Yeah. So we teed it up for you, Martine, in the next segment. So you're listening to the Marketing Corner, and next week we're going to have myself and Mo Russo in the
Mo!
studio. And Mo and I are going to talk a lot of AI and some of the books that he's getting into and how he's incorporating AI and a few other tools to write books that are resources for small business owners and executives. So
Right on.
you are listening to the Marketing Corner. My name is Sean Campbell with co-host today, JD Delgado, special guest Martine Lopez of Omni Builders. We're back in the Marketing Corner. I'm your host, Sean Campbell, with my co-host, JD Delgado, Rooster Hot, and special guest today, Martine Lopez.
AKA Guapo, or AKA Bubbles. What other nicknames do you have, Martine?
I don't give myself these nicknames. You're the one that. I always said the ladies that gave me that nickname, but it was you. So okay.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. It was funny because during break he was saying that you have a whole list of 5-10 nicknames for yourself, Martine.
Like the number one pickleball
always-
The
player.
number one PB player.
Yeah.
I've never once said that. I'm usually number 5, and it's only there's 3
Oh, number
players in
5.
Red number 5. That's funny. Martine, let's talk a little bit about your team's culture. Your employees. Let's give you the stage and tell us, brag about them. Tell us how you've built your culture and what makes Omni a great place to be employed.
Without our employees, well, with our clients, number one, we don't have anything. But number two is our employees.
Mm-hmm.
Our employees, that's been one of the biggest challenges is finding the right people to fit what Omni's all about.
Mm-hmm.
We're all about taking care of our clients, selling and selling the best product that we possibly can. And the biggest thing is communicating with our clients, over communicating. It happened this last year for the first time. One thing I always wanted was for a client to say, hey, you don't have to communicate that much with me. You guys, I don't need to hear that much from you. It happened for the first time.
Wow.
And I've been doing this. I've been building for 30 years.
Wow.
And one thing that makes it's taken us a while. Right now, we're at a really great place with our employees. We have great sales staff. We have amazing people in our office. The construction side, they're doing great. Excuse me. We have some in-house subs. In-house employees that's taken a little while to get them all on the same page. But it's taken a while, but we're finally there. I think one of the reasons why is we found the people who we can teach you. I can teach you everything that I know about swimming pools, but what I can't teach you is how to be self-motivated, how to follow up, how to care. That's the biggest thing, to actually care.
Right.
And we found those people, and we've been we have a couple of single moms who have bought houses on their own. We've helped some of our other employees put their kids through college and trade schools, and we've helped other people achieve. Our retired bookkeeper, she was with us, and we were able to send her on this amazing trip to Europe as a thank you gift.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
we've
cool.
embraced that culture, but because us as owners, what we realized is, one, you can always come to us and talk about anything. We're always open-minded. Even though I've been doing this 30 years, you're never going to hear, well, that's the way we've always done, and that's the way it's going to be. You're not going to hear that from us.
Yeah.
We always know that getting a different perspective from our employees is a great thing, and listening to them. So that's we've developed a culture that we also give back to our employees. They get profit sharing.
Thanks.
In all our jobs. We take good care of them. We do events for them. We sponsor their teams, their kids' teams. We're always willing to help.
Wow.
And they see that. They see how much they mean to us. Also, it's not just a one-way street. It's not.
Yeah. How did you maneuver through COVID?
That was a real interesting time. So I worked for California Pools in 2001 when 9/11 hit, and everything came to a stop. And when COVID hit, I really thought it was going to be the same thing. I told my partners, "Hey, guys, this might all stop. We don't know." Instead, it took off.
Wow.
So, hey, now,
Wow.
well, I can't go on vacation. Man, my kids are at home. I never realized how much. Wow, I got to do something with them. Let's build a pool.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And it took off, and the market went nuts. And fortunately, we have really good relationships with our suppliers, so they took really good care of us. We really weren't too short-handed when it came to supplies. We were very fortunate, but we were, because there's only so many plumbers and shotcreters and in Tucson. All of a sudden, everybody's buried.
Wow.
And it was pools were listed on the essential thing. We were part of the construction essentials, which
So you could work.
so we took off, and it was a crazy time.
It was an anomaly, though. I mean,
Yeah.
all the exterior construction trades, dude, like
Yeah.
my business, it freaking took off too.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
mean, it like painting, all that stuff.
Wow. Wow. When during that time, one thing you also just mentioned in the last few statements there was you have a good rapport, a good relationship with your vendors, the people you buy from. I mean, how did that get established? Because I know a lot of people in various different industries don't have that type of relationship. There's some local, I'm sure, restaurants and bars out there that don't, wish they had a better relationship with the people that are helping them out. What do you do to kind of build that up, Martin?
It's a mutual respect, but it's also holding them accountable. Our pool supply place, I've never once raised my voice to them. When you ask them, supposedly I'm like this guy who's super demanding. Well, I don't think that's a lot to ask for someone that sells you supplies for them to supply you. I don't know if it's even in their name, but we just. It's one of those, hey guys, it's a relationship. You build relationships with people, you build rapport with people. And it's also, if they weren't taking care of us, guess what? There's somebody else who is willing to sell me that. So, but we haven't had to go down that road. We don't really operate that way. I don't operate with we're not fear mongers or, hey, if you don't take care of us, too bad, we're going someplace else. We don't do that. We've developed this rapport with our vendors, and we're very fortunate. We really are. I mean, we have like Jaime Guzman, who's with A&A Infloor System, Pentair A&A. He's become a friend of mine. He actually I golf with him. He lets me win at golf. That's how good of a friend he is. But so we've developed those types of relationships with our vendors, and then we're also always bringing in new types of products and vendors, and they see the way we operate, and they see we're serious, and they're going, this isn't a fly-by-night company. It's somebody who's established, and they're still willing to do something new. Hey, let me give them a chance. Let me try to work with these guys.
Yeah.
So we've been pretty fortunate.
Yeah. When you're working with a brand new customer, right, and there's not a pool in their backyard. I mean, how do you what are your steps to design a pool? And do most customers think they want one thing, but they really want something else? Does that make sense?
It's changed over the years. When we go to a client's house, a lot of times they've already done their research.
Okay.
They've looked. they've looked, at a million different designs.
Okay.
One thing, we don't get it as much as we used to. A few years back, everybody, I looked on Pinterest. I'm like, yeah, but you're looking at a $2 million pool, and your house is $400,000, so it's not quite equatable. We don't get that as much as we used to. But no, we have our process is a little bit different. We've changed kind of how we do. We're a little different than most of the industry. We send when somebody contacts us, we set up an appointment with them, but we have somebody who is a surveyor, and she goes out there and she surveys, measures. We use one thing is we use a lot of technology. There's so much technology out there, and we really use it. We do what's called a LiDAR scan. We actually use this program, and we take an image of their entire backyard in 3D and in 2D.
That's cool.
And we download. So now our designer knows everything what it looks like. Our designer then meets with the homeowner, looks at what they have in their backyard, what'll work, what won't, depending on the municipality, with their setbacks that we have to abide by, HOA restrictions. And once we figure out, a design that'll work for them, something they like, functionality, and we always ask for a budget. Right now that's the one thing. Pools are more expensive than they've ever been, but it's truly become a luxury item. But and we figure out what they want. Then our designer meets with them in our showroom. We won't just send you a price. We're not going to do that, because our designers designing a pool and coming up with something for them it's an 8, 10, 15 hour, sometimes 20 hours involvement with every client. So they come meet with us at our showroom, and we walk them through what Omni is all about. Some of the things that we do differently, our pros and cons. We actually tell you the things we don't do, why we do what we do, and then we show them what a price, and we let our customers, decide. Then our clients what they'd like to do from there. Yeah,
we got about a minute and a half until the break, Martin. How much has AI affected your industry? Do you use any AI?
I am probably the least AI of our company, but we use it a lot. In fact, sometimes I got to go, guys, can you answer me and not ChatGPT? I mean, I feel like I got a relationship with ChatGPT. You guys answer me. I don't need,
funny.
We use a lot of technology. We really do, but it's helped us. It's made us a little more efficient. There's more exacts. There's a lot to it. Yeah, it really is, but we use a lot of technology and AI.
Yeah, we got 1 minute left till break, Martin. So we're gonna ask you to hold on here for one more break. We really appreciate you being with us. I mean, it's.
No, thank you for having me.
Everything JD has said about you is then and even more so. So it's been an honor having you on as a guest today. JD, you and Martin are gonna like freeform the last segment when we come back here on the marketing.
Oh, we're going to freestyle? We're going to rap against each other?
We're going to rap against each other.
You ready, Martin?
You're listening to...
I'm always great, JD. You know that.
I know you are.
In person there, we'd have a dance-off. You know that.
Listening to the Marketing Corner, I'm your host, Sean Campbell. Last segment of the Marketing Corner, I'm your host, Sean Campbell. And as always, we always begin the last segment by thanking John, our engineers. Appreciate you each and every week. And all of our sponsors, Bill Netherton from Professional Bartenders Unlimited, David Bradley, Medicare A to Z, Candace Seaton Photography, Danny McPadden of Last Bridge Media, of course, Juan J.D. DeCalo of Roofs Are Hot, Jose Oliver, Awakening Minds, LLC, Mo Russo, Executive and Business Coach, and our newest sponsor, Robert Callison of eForce Marketing. Robert's good at what he does, by the way.
What is it?
eForce Marketing. He's phenomenal at what he does.
Right on.
Yeah, so... Anyway, what do you got? What do you got for Martin there, JD?
Oh man, I got lots of things for Martin, especially.
Here we go.
we could always go back to pickleball, but pickleball in business, man. That's really it's helped my exposure with my business in regards to just getting the word out there. So I wear my gear all over the place, and then on the pickleball courts, and actually this past week they had the professional PPA pickleball here, first time ever, and I mean they had all the big hitters here, so that was a great event. And I actually sponsored this young kid. He's like one of the top 5 pickleball players here in Tucson, actually. Wow. Him and another guy, and I had them wear my gear out
Nice,
there. So
nice.
it was so funny because I told Martine about that. Martine was like, "What do you mean? They got to wear my logo too, my gear?" I'm like, no, wait, they're wearing my gear.
That's funny.
But I actually did talk to you about that, Sean. You had some great ideas.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what do you think about that in regards to the pickleball and business? I know you said you have, what, 6 new deals as a result of pickleball. Is that correct, Martine?
Well, that are currently in construction, people we've met or that we've done for over the last couple of years. I'm going on year 2 of playing, and I think we're probably at 15, 20 people.
Wow.
You know, between remodels and new pools that we've built and remodeled, and also done some repair work, and then also I've been able to facilitate them. Like, I get calls, "Hey, do you know somebody that can build a Ramada?" I do, and then I lead them in directions to help them out as well.
Wow.
And in fact, you know what? JD redid my mother-in-law's roof,
That's right. I did.
and I told him, I said, "You sure you want to do this?" Because I love my mother-in-law, but I know, and she has nothing but great things to say about
thank
JD.
you. Oh, she's a gem. Your mother-in-law is a total gem.
Well,
Yeah.
she did say, though, you left your sign still there, but she says she's happy to always advertise for you.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, she's great. But what's really great about Martine and his wife Rosemary, they're both small business owners, so they have this dual partnership, man, and it's just great to see them out there and networking and working with the community. And so this is a funny thing. This is how I met Martine at the first tournament. I would see him at Udall. He would show up, but the first tournament he did with one of my other buddies, he shows up with his freaking VIP ropes and the little ballards. He shows up to the freaking tournament with this, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is the VIP. You could come in,
wow.
Martine.
Wow.
This is the VIP section."
Yeah.
And I knew right then and there, I was like, "Dude, this is my man right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
We are definitely hanging out together."
Yeah.
Tell him about that, Martine.
Well, if you're not going to dazzle them with your game, you might as well dazzle them with something else. So, you got to stand out. You got to stand out in everything. So, yeah, I carry staunches with me and set up a VIP area where we go.
Yeah, and this was like the biggest pickleball tournament in Tucson too.
Wow.
So it was hilarious because
Wow.
people are just walking around all over the place and they're just like looking like, what's going on over there? Those
People
people.
ask me, hey, where's your VIP ropes? I said, that's the old,
That's funny.
gag that we did. We got to do something new.
Got to come up with something new.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Martine, with your wife as a business owner as well, did the two of you ever talk shop, so to speak, or do you guys keep your businesses separate?
Well, we're two very separate businesses, but no, we definitely do talk. She owns the gym at Tucson, and she's built this amazing community, and it's on the fitness. And it's funny because we walk, she's ripped, she's in great shape. But when we walk into events, they never mistake me for owning the gym. When we're in something.
Never. That's right.
But it's we do talk. She's had her business 5 years. I've been doing this. There's a 10-year difference between us. I've been doing this coming up on 14 years. Plus, I ran other companies, and she does bounce ideas off of it. But where she really helps me is from the people aspect. Sometimes because I've been doing this a long time, and I can tell everything there is to learn about swimming pools. But also, I went to University of Texas at El Paso. And never in any business classes did they ever prepare you for some of the things. It's the people thing,
Yeah.
and dealing with that. And that's where she really shines.
Yeah.
And she's helped me out a lot to give kind of a different perspective when it comes to relationships with people. And also, she's, hey, calm down, take a deep breath, wait, and then, and look at things from there. But absolutely, we do talk shop.
Yeah. It's funny you bring that up because I went to here at the U of A with a marketing degree. It took me 5.5 years to graduate. I did not like school at all.
7 years for me.
Yeah, but I
Well,
learned.
I'm still in my senior year last semester, and that was 28 years ago. So I'm still waiting to graduate.
Yeah. But I learned more in the first 2 weeks of my real job than I did in those 5.5 years. Especially here in town.
Yeah.
I think and I hope the two of you can kind of maybe semi-agree with this anyway, but I think everybody's first job as a small business owner in Tucson is to be 1 degree away from everybody. And I know we're kind of almost kind of joking about it, but really it's like how many connections have you guys made just from the pickleball courts or from your networking, JD? You know,
A lot.
a lot.
A lot.
Right.
And so this is how it goes with pickle, and this is why it's so powerful. I did an event. It was called a dink tournament, where you just play in a small court and you dink. And me and Pancho were getting ready for a tournament, and so I said, "Yeah, let's do this event over at Tucson Racket Club." And we show up, and there's a bunch of freaking just ladies, old ladies, and whatever. So I'm thinking we're gonna kick ass. We got our. Oh, I can't say that. We got our.
Hey, easy there.
Almost.
I almost. We got our butts kicked, but we played 7 different games. So out of those 7 different games, you just multiply that by 2. So we met 14 different people
Wow.
within 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm out of the grocery store the next day, and I see one of the ladies. Of course, one of the ladies recognizes me. He says, "Hey!"
Yeah, that's funny.
But that's how powerful it is in meeting people.
Yeah. When in that, do you do a lot of networking, Martine?
I do quite a bit. We do probably not as much as I used to, but no, we definitely do. We go to Miranda Chambers events. We go to Arizona Sands. JD is always hosting events.
Yeah.
We go to those. No, it's important. It's not only. I look at it. It's kind of changed because before I used to look at it as leads. It's not leads. It's your name out there. It's your branding.
Yep,
Right.
so branding.
People becoming familiar, seeing you, because it's always nice to attach a name and a face to a business.
There you go.
And that's what I think we've done. Even though my partners are better looking than me, I guess I'm the face of Omni Pools. And when people know me, they go, "Oh yeah, that's Martin Lopez with Omni Pools." So it does help doing a lot of marketing or doing a lot of networking. So it absolutely helps.
Yeah.
People would spend even if your product is maybe a little bit higher price. They'll spend their money with you because they feel comfortable with you. They've gotten to know you, and they see you around. They also see your involvement with the community.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. That's especially in Tucson. There's such a huge difference between Tucson and Phoenix, and Tucson is so much of a small. Everybody knows everybody in Tucson.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you're part of the community, they're willing to spend with you.
Yeah. Martine, what's your big goal for this year? What's that one goal, whether it's a business or personal? What's when 2025 change in January? What's on your agenda?
To beat me in pickleball.
Hey, I've done it 1 out of 19 times, so we're almost there. From a business standpoint, we got some sales guys. We have some new sales designers who they're new to us, but they're not new to the industry, and they're really starting to take shape. Grow as a business, increase sales, and hopefully open another location office down in Green Valley.
Wow,
that's a big goal that we have. That I'm really hoping that we're going to achieve that. I think with the people that we have in place, I think that's going to be pretty achievable. On a personal goal, just we travel a lot, so it's more of a travel thing. I want to get back. I want to get back to Europe.
Nice.
I really enjoyed Italy and Paris, and get back. That's on a personal level, and just really help. My wife's going to move to a new location and help her with the new location
Very
expand.
Cool. Yeah. We got about 2 minutes left of the show, Martine. How can someone reach out to you if they have any more questions about Omni Pool Builders and Design?
You can look us up at TucsonPoolBuilders.com, OmniPoolBuilders.com. You can Google us. We come up right away. You can Google
lots of
Pool Builders
5-star
in Tucson.
reviews.
We're usually top 1, 2, and that's you can send email. You can call, whichever you like, whichever one. We do remodels. We do new pools. We do commercial pools. We do complete landscaping. We do hardscaping. We do all of that.
Hey, so tell me about these splash pads.
That has become super popular, especially with municipalities. We've done about, I think, 6 of them in the last 2 years for Pima County, City of Tucson, Marana. They, kids, it's hot in the summer, but they don't want the expense. With a splash pad, You have a place where kids can go, parents can take their kids. Your parents are always looking for something to take their kids to do something. They can take them to these splash pads. They can cool off there. They can play in the water, but the municipalities don't have to deal with a lifeguard.
Yeah.
They don't have to deal with quite the expense with all the chemicals. The pumps, you still have some chemicals, but it's a fourth. It's a fraction of what it is for swimming pools, and you also don't have the liability.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah, Martin Lopez, thank you so much for being a part of the Marketing Corner today. Really appreciate you being on. One of these days, we're going to get you in studio, and we can hang out again with JD in studio. So
absolutely, I'll just have to have JD check the pickleball tournament schedule, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and JD, thank you from Roofs Are Hot. Thank you everybody for listening this week on the Marketing Corner. Next week, it's myself and Mo Russo. We'll be talking everything AI, and have your questions ready. He's a phenomenal executive and business coach. Look forward to it. And it's about almost tip-off time. Go Cats.
Let's do it. Vamos.